Okay, my name's Nick, and my topic's going to be on alternative energies. So, because fossil fuels have become inefficient, unsustainable, environmentally destructive, and the main contributor to global climate change, I propose that renewable energies are an immediately needed alternative to fossil fuel burning power plants. Some of these alternative energies include solar power, so any solar panels you see on roofs, wind power, which would be the windmills, hydroelectric power, which are water turbines that are run by waves, biomass, which are natural earth elements that can be recycled, hydrogen, which are the sun bus is doing hydrogen run buses now. And the benefits of these alternatives is that one, they produce little to no harmful emissions to our air. Two, they are a vast and inexhaustible supply of energy. And three, they will produce large amounts of job opportunities and other economic benefits. So my first argument is that alternative energies produce very minimal, if any, harmful emissions. With the elimination of coal-powered power plants, approximately 25% fewer emissions will be released into our air in the US alone. And alternatives such as natural gas-fired power plants will produce only 6% of the total emissions in the US, and that is all according to the Union of Concerned Scientists.org. A significantly less amount of carbon dioxide will also be released into the air with alternatives such as natural gas burning. All the components of building these facilities, construction, decommissioning when they become too old, installation, operation, maintenance, all of those have very, very minimal emissions as well. Secondly, alternative energy has a vast and inexhaustible energy supply. So because we have so many diverse available options with the sun, heat, water, wind, etc., they're very constant and reliable energy supply, and they will continuously replenish themselves. So I'm pretty sure the sun isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So we have that. If all the alternatives or if they were put together and all run at the same time, according to data gathered in 2012 by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, approximately 482,000 billion kilowatt hours would be produced with all of these resources put together, which is about 118 times more than the nation uses currently today. And that's just in the US alone, that's not even a worldwide statistic. Thirdly, alternative energy will produce jobs and have other economic benefits. So with jobs, because coal has been used for so many years, they have the process down to a science. So everything is automated and run by machines. There's very little human contact with the process of burning coal and producing electricity. And because all these alternative energies, these renewable resources are so new, they require a lot of hands-on labor-intensive work. So that would obviously give people more opportunities to get jobs. In 2011, in the US alone, 75,000 full-time employees were hired just in the wind energy department. 100,000 people, part-time and full-time, were hired in the solar industry. 250,000 workers were hired onto the hydroelectric industry, and 5,200 workers were hired into the geothermal industry, according to the Union of Concerned Scientists. So as you can see, this would put hundreds of thousands of people into work, and would obviously bring unemployment rates down just in this nation. Economically speaking, 500 factories in the US manufacture renewable resource parts, so any turbines, solar, wind energy things, windmills, solar panels, and the amount of parts domestically manufactured has risen from 35% in 2006 to 70% in 2011, according to the US Environmental Protection Agency. Alternative energies, the use of alternative energies would cause a ripple effect into the economy, meaning the less money the average home has to spend on electricity every month means that said home has that much more money to flush into the economy, which would benefit both supply chains and unrelated local businesses as well. So today, renewable energy provides only a tiny fraction of its potential energy output worldwide. Many studies have shown again and again that renewable energy can be rapidly deployed to provide the significant amount of energy that this nation alone needs and worldwide needs. Again, I propose that alternative energies are an immediately needed alternative to fossil fuels. One, because they produce very little to, if any harmful emissions into the air. Two, they have a vast and inexhaustible supply of energy. And three, they will produce a large amount of job positions and offer other economic profits. Thank you.
All right, Nick, I think that you start with some big propositions that never get discussed, and they're presuppositions that probably need some proof about the dangers of existing fuel sources and all the problems, and the reason that it now is so immediate and essential that we get to these other kinds of things. That's where there might be a little bit of controversy. The claim that you actually make is that that these things would work or they would be beneficial. It's kind of a broad proposition. I don't know anybody who says that we shouldn't have alternative energies. The biggest issue is whether or not they are competitive at the current time, whether or not they're economically feasible. And on the environmental issues, I have heard some questions about some of them, although there's a good argument probably to be made that they are environmentally less damaging. I think that needs to be developed a little bit more. I thought you had a very good preview of what the structure of the speech was going to be, and at the end of the speech you came back to it and did a nice job summarizing, but in the body of the speech, it didn't sound like it was being structured that way. I won't say it was entirely random, because I do think you do follow those basic ideas, but the structure needs to be signposted and clarified a little bit more as you're going through those issues. You've got this one statistic, for instance, that we could gain 118 times current U.S. needs in kilowatt power, all that sort of thing. And the first question that occurs to me is, so why is this not happening? And I've got no explanation as to why it's not happening. That seems to me like where there's controversy on this. If this was economically feasible and it would be cheaper, everybody would buy that. Why is that not happening? Because it's not economically cheaper at the moment. You've got this one statement that says, if consumers pay less for this energy, then that's going to benefit the economy also because it frees up. So where's the proof that we will be paying less for all of these energy resources? Is it cheap to get access to solar power? Is it cheap to get sufficient access to wind energy? Hydroelectric energy we've used for decades, and the question is, have we expended all of the potential sources of hydroelectric power, or are there some that we haven't? That's where I think you need a little bit more development. This is a cheerleading speech for alternative energy, and I don't think anybody dislikes alternative energy. The question is, will it work, and will it solve these problems, and why can't we do it now? And I think you don't really get to those issues as much as you need to. You did a nice job, like I said, speaking to the audience and trying to explain your point of view. And like I said, at the beginning of the speech and the end of the speech, I think you make it a little bit more coherent. In the middle of the speech, you need to make that structure stick out more.